I started getting Division I football offers. And this was something I never thought was possible when I was 14 years old, stuck in a hospital bed, not worried about anything but where his next fix is going to come from. I didn't care about anything but validation from others, and once I started worrying about validating myself and becoming the person I knew I could be, that's when my whole life changed.
What's good, YouTube? My name is Nolan Clement. I'm a 20-year-old athlete and bodybuilder. I'm a fitness and mindset coach, and I thought I would get on here today to start authentically documenting my journey to success. I believe that I have a lot of thoughts and a lot of things that I do that could help you guys a lot. So I'm going to be open and honest about everything, my failures, what I've learned from them, my successes, and how I achieved that success. And I know I don't have much room to speak because this is my first video, but I can promise you guys that there will be a lot of videos coming in the future with a lot of education and a lot of things that'll help you in your everyday life and in your journey in general. So I hope y'all enjoy this. This first video is going to be my story and who I am. So enjoy.
Growing up, I always knew I was different. I never fit in. I was always popular but felt alone. I never enjoyed what other people enjoyed. I never thought the way other people thought. I always felt like I was a black sheep. My whole life I've always asked the question of why. Why are things the way they are? Why do people do what they do? Why are those rules in place? Who set them? What are they for? And no one's ever given me an answer. In school, everything was easy for me. I never did homework, I never studied, but I still got the good grades. But I was always bored. I always felt like there was something more, but I didn't know what. And as a kid, I filled that boredom with short-term pleasures and instant gratification, which was ultimately the downfall of me as a child. I started smoking and drinking at the age of 13. I did it to fill that boredom. I did it to make me comfortable in my situation. I did it because I didn't know what else was out there for me. I didn't have a purpose. I didn't have any intention in my life. Then, at 14 years old, I got diagnosed with a stomach disease. I got diagnosed with IBS and IBD. And I grew up skinny my whole life, so I had no weight to lose. But I went from 6 foot 160 down to 130 pounds. I lost all of the color in my skin. I was not healthy in any way, possibly mentally or physically. I went from doctor to doctor, hospital to hospital, trying to just get my life back and be a normal kid. But that wasn't an option for me. Then, when I was 15 years old, I realized no one was coming to save me. Everything was on me. The good, the bad, the ugly. It was all a result of my own actions and thoughts. So I deleted social media. I ghosted everyone. I literally locked myself in my basement gym that had one little light bulb at the top. And I would work out for hours a day. I tried FODMAP diet, I tried keto diet, I tried carnivore diet, I tried everything. I was desperate. I even started a moving company where I would work 12 to 14 hours a day, 5 days a week as a 15-year-old kid. I didn't want to be like everyone else. I wanted to be special because I knew I was special and I knew I was capable of special things. I ended up herniating a disc in my back doing one of these moving jobs. I drove back from the job leaning back like this, not even able to straighten my own back. I got home and laid on the floor for a day because I couldn't move. But you know what I did the next week? I got up and started working again. I got back in the gym. I did everything that I tried to set out and do before it. A few weeks into my junior year of high school, my parents decided to move to Scottsdale, Arizona. And I thought, fuck it, why not? It's a new life, new opportunities. Let me create a name for myself. I felt like a small fish in a big pond in Atlanta. When we moved to Arizona, I felt like the biggest fish in the smallest pond. I felt like an outlaw. I felt like a black sheep. I felt like I didn't belong even more. So you know what I did? I worked out every day, all day, and played football, and that's it. I didn't go out, I didn't drink, I didn't party, I didn't talk to anyone, I didn't go to prom or homecoming, and I am happy I didn't do those things. You know why? Because if you do what everyone else does, you'll end up how everyone else is. You have to sacrifice things to become the person you want to be. You can't be great without sacrifice, and I don't know how people don't understand that. I started to see progress like I've never seen before, because I refused to accept the predetermined path that was laid out for everyone in society. I knew I was different, so I acted different. I went from 130 pounds at the lowest of the low my freshman year to 205 pounds my junior year. And it didn't just come, the weight didn't just stack on. It came from nights of eating till I was gonna throw up. It came from staying home from everything and drinking mass gainer shakes that were 2 liters big. At the end of my junior year, I finally saw my work start to pay off. I started getting Division I football offers. And this was something I never thought was possible when I was 14 years old, stuck in a hospital bed, not worried about anything but where his next fix is gonna come from. I didn't care about anything but validation from others, and once I started worrying about validating myself and becoming the person I knew I could be, that's when my whole life changed. Once I got these offers, I didn't lay down, I didn't relax, I didn't say, oh, I made it. It drove me to work harder. It made that fire inside of me grow even bigger. I built myself into 6'3", 220 pounds as a 17-year-old. I would go into the gym at 9 p.m. after football practice, and if I saw someone else in the gym, I would not leave until they left. I refused to let anyone even think they could outwork me, because I knew that I had to do those things to become the person and get to the place that I wanted to be. At the end of my senior year, I ended up racking in 17 Division I offers for football, and I committed to the University of Arizona. Everything everyone told me in the past that was impossible, I made possible. I refused to let anyone tell me what I could and could not do, because I knew they're no better than me. Everything that is laid out for us, every rule, every conception that you believe is something that another person no smarter than you or I made. So I committed to the University of Arizona, and then I graduated early in December 2022. After that, I moved to Naples, Italy for 5 months, and I explored the world. I started to kind of enjoy the fruits of my labor. But when I got back to America in May 2023 and enrolled in the University of Arizona, I saw how real this shit was. When I first arrived at the University of Arizona, it was nothing but waking up early, hard work, and discipline. I had to transform myself from a bodybuilder into an athlete. And this was not easy, but I refused to back down from any challenge. When I figured out I was going to be redshirting my freshman year, I started to fall back into bad habits. I let the degeneracy that surrounded me impact me. And that's something that I wish I never did. But it happened. So after that year, I saw how I was slowly starting to slip away from the person I knew I was and slip away from the right path. Going into my sophomore year, I was determined to play. I said, I'm not going to let this happen to me another year. There's no point of me being here if I'm not going to play. So I worked, and I worked, and I worked. I refused to let anyone outwork me. In the lifts, in the runs, in practice, I didn't care what it was. I had to be the best person I could be at everything I did. The season began, and I still wasn't playing. But I didn't care. I continued to outwork everyone. Every day in practice, I gave it everything I had. And I knew it wasn't likely that I was going to play, but there was just the slightest chance, the slightest possibility. So I went out and I took it. Week 7, they told me I was going to be starting against Colorado. And it felt like everything I did was finally starting to pay off. All the sacrifice, all the nights of not going out, not being a college student, not doing what everyone else is doing, finally started to feel like it was going to pay off. I played in the game, I did good, but I knew I could do better. So I went back to that same routine, I took the same steps that got me into that position, and continued to try to elevate my position. I started against West Virginia the next week, which was family weekend. My whole family was there. My grandma flew in from Michigan, who I haven't seen in forever, who I damn near grew up with as a kid. My best friend was there. Everyone was at that game. In my second play, I completely tore my ACL and meniscus, partially tore my LCL and MCL, and partially fractured my femur. This was something I never thought would have happened to me. I never even thought it was possible. I always heard of people tearing their knee. I always heard of those freak injuries, but I never thought it would happen to me until it did. I remember sitting in the medical tent after they told me I tore my knee and thinking, why? Why me? Why does it always happen to me? Why does all of my work always pay off and then everything gets taken away from me? I had surgery the next week. I was on crutches for 8 weeks. I couldn't even put weight on my leg. I couldn't go up to the fridge and get a glass of water. I was stuck on the couch in bed for 8 weeks. For a while I had the victim mindset. I thought, why did this happen to me? After everything I did, why did this happen to me? I felt the pain. I felt all of the pain. But then I started thinking, and I realized that it was divine intervention redirecting my path. So I entered the transfer portal. I took a step back from football and moved back in with my parents. After moving back in with my parents, I really thought about everything. Being away from football, I saw how it didn't really fulfill my soul. I felt like it wasn't my true purpose. You know, it's cool being the guy at the university. It's cool everyone looking at you and being like, oh shit, there he is. But none of it matters. None of it really fulfilled me internally. So what does fulfill me? What fulfills me is personal development. Bettering myself physically, mentally, and financially, and helping other people do the same. So I've decided to quit football. It's not easy, but nothing's easy. You know, it's a dream I've had my whole life. But I believe that it's in between me and the steps I need to take to reach my goals and become the person I know I can be. So, right now I'm doing nothing but working. I have a job at a catering company and a valet company, and all of the time outside of that, I'm working to better myself and help other people do the same. Do I want to be working 2 jobs? No, of course not. But I know it's a process. I know you can't just skip to step number 4. You have to go from step 1 to 2 to 3 and then 4. So right now I might be at step number 1, but my plan is laid out. My steps are ahead of me, and I'm doing everything I can do to take those steps to become the man I know I can be and I have to be. So I'm going to be authentically documenting my whole journey and all the steps I take to success. There are so many people out there right now trying to seem like something they're not. They're trying to be something they're not, and they're trying to appear like they've already made it, when in reality they haven't done shit. I hope to inspire a few of you guys and show you that anything is possible with hard work and intention. And don't do what everyone else tells you to do. Find your own purpose. Find what truly fulfills you and go all in on that. Don't listen to the outside noise, because it's all bullshit.